Yes, hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to discuss an interesting topic, and it's in criminal law. It's called incoherent offense. You can also call it incomplete offense. That's the topic that we are going to discuss today under criminal law. An incoherent offense, it is referred to as a step or a stage towards the commission of a crime. It can be a step, or it can be a stage towards the commission of a crime. So let me give you an example. If at all a person wants to commit a crime and he undertakes some stages to commit that crime, but unfortunately he did not fully commit that final crime, then that is what we call an incoherent offense or an incomplete offense. The reason as to why it's called incoherent offense or incomplete offense is because the offense is not complete. The end goal, let me give an example. Assume X is a person wants to kill B, and X takes all the necessary steps. For example, let me say X buys a gun and buys bullets and goes to the scene to kill B. But unfortunately, he loads a bullet in a gun and shoots to kill B. But unfortunately, the bullet just passes, hits another person called Y, or just hits, it does not hit B. Now, that one, it's called an attempt. It's an incomplete offense. Reason being, the real mission of killing B was not successful. It was not successful, and therefore the offense is incomplete. But however, this does not mean that X can't be held liable. X can be held liable for attempted murder. Let's assume X, as you've said, X wanted to kill B, but unfortunately, he just shot Y on the arm. So basically, X will be held liable for attempted murder. So attempted murder, it falls under incomplete offenses. Remember, the real intent was to kill. That is basically murder, was to kill. But unfortunately, he did not kill that person, and now he can be held liable for attempted murder. Also, incoherent offense is also defined in the Black's Law Dictionary. In the Black's Law Dictionary, the 12th edition. You go there and you look for the definition of incoherent. The definition of incoherent offense. Then, leaving the definition aside, incoherent offense has types. There are 3 types of incoherent offenses, also known as incomplete offense. And the first one is the attempted offenses, and also there is a conspiracy, offenses, and also there is solicitation offenses. Solicitation offenses. So now these are the 3 types of incoherent or incomplete offenses, but we are going to discuss them in depth so that we can get to know what they mean. So I'm going to start with attempted offenses. So what are these attempted offenses? So attempted offenses, these are the offenses that it's like a step. These are the offenses that the accused person is attempting to commit a crime. Let me give an example. If at all X wants to kill B and accidentally, let me say, he did not intend to, to miss, or let me say he fires a bullet and accidentally shoots aside of B. Now X will be held liable for attempting to murder B. That's what we call attempted murder. Like, your real intent was to kill B, but unfortunately you did not kill B. Therefore, you are held liable for attempting to murder B. That's attempted offense. That's basically attempted offense, what it means. Then we also have conspiracy offenses. Conspiracy offenses, we have to first define what conspiracy is. Conspiracy, this refers to the agreement between two or more people to commit a crime. So it's like an agreement between the two people to come to commit a crime. They plan and they see how best they can commit this crime. So in conspiracy offenses, the reason as why they are under inchoate offenses is that here the accused person, remember, is conspiring to commit a crime. If at all they are arrested before fulfilling their final deal of, before they commit that agreed crime, it will fall under inchoate or incomplete offenses. The reason being, they are still under plan. They are not yet fully implemented. That's why they are incomplete. The reason being, they are not yet complete, or they are not yet fully implemented. Conspiracy offenses. Then we have solicitation offenses. Solicitation offenses, these are the offenses that one party is soliciting another to commit a crime. Like, one party is forcing the other party to commit the crime. For example, this can be done through insults, through your conduct, the person's conduct, to force. It can be through words, it can be through actions, trying to convince someone or trying to force someone to commit a crime. That is solicitation offenses. That's why they are under incoherent or incomplete, because it's not yet complete. You are convincing someone to commit that crime. If that person you are convincing finally does that crime, then that crime becomes a complete offense. It's now not incomplete or incoherent. The reason as why right now it's a category or a type of incoherent offense is that it's still in process. You are convincing that person. That person has not yet done that offense. But if that person does that offense, then that person will be held liable. So all these are types of incoherent or incomplete offenses. But each one of these, it has what we call elements for it to be considered as incomplete offense. Now let me start with the attempted offenses. Under attempted offense, the elements under attempted offense is there has to be a specific intent. A specific intent means that there has to be an intention to commit that crime. Let me give an example. If at all X wants to rape B, X has to take all the necessary steps to show that he wanted to rape B. And one of those things that shows that X had the intent is by, let me say, removing the clothes and maybe forcing B to remove, let me say, the clothes. So that small act shows that X had the intention to rape B. So this simply shows that X had the intention, he wanted to rape B. But since he did not rape, so X can be held liable for attempted rape. Since he did not commit it, he was nearly going to, was a step to committing it, but he did not commit that act. Therefore, he can be held liable for attempted rape. Then the first element here, it's the first element is specific intent. Specific intent, looking at the intention. Then another one is the overt act towards the commission. The overt act. The overt act towards the omission. Now the question comes, what is the overt act? The overt act, it refers to the act towards the commission of the crime. Like the act, that act towards the commission of the crime, just as I've illustrated here. When X removes his clothes, goes to B, forces her to remove the clothes. Now that is an overt act to show that he wanted to rape B. So overt act towards committing. Now that's one of the elements. That's one of the elements. Then another element is failure to consummate or commit the offense. Failure to commit the offense. So once you do not commit that offense that you wanted to commit, you'll be held liable for attempted. For example, just as I've used here, rape. Now, if X fails to rape B, X will be held liable for attempted rape. Reason being, he has failed to rape B. I see. So, these are the elements of attempted offense. Now, let me go to elements of conspiracy. Elements of conspiracy, number one, there has to be, again, specific intent. Remember, conspiracy, this refers to an agreement between two or more people. So, if two or more people come in agreement to commit a specific crime, now that shows that there is an agreement between those two people. That shows also that there is an intention. They are intending to commit that specific crime. So, a specific intent is also an element under conspiracy offenses. Then another element, there has to be proof. Proof of conspiracy. And proof of conspiracy to show that indeed there was an agreement between these two parties or more parties, it can be proved through the conduct of the parties. If these people we are having usual meetings, we are having plans, or maybe their conduct, there is an agreement. You can easily tell through their conduct. The conduct of the parties through, let me say, regular meetings. It can be through meetings. It can be through calls. There can be a lot of ways how you can tell through their conduct. So if such happens, then you can use this as proof that there was indeed conspiracy to commit an offense. Then another element is that failure to commit the offense. You can conspire, if these parties conspire to commit an offense and they do not implement it, then they can be held liable for conspiracy offenses. Then let's go to solicitation. Solicitation, just as I've said, here one party is soliciting, seducing the other party to commit a crime. So one of the elements of solicitation offenses, the first element, there has to be a specific intent. The person soliciting must have that intention that he wants the other party to, let me say, to commit a crime. Let me give an example. If X is a politician and during elections, X lost the election, X can convince people to go and riot. Now, X has the intention that these people, if at all I convince them, they can go and riot. Now, this falls under solicitation offenses, because there is mens rea. X knows that his act of convincing these people to go and riot, they commit an offense. So basically, this is all about the incomplete offenses or incoherent offenses. Just understand what incoherent offense, what it means, understand its definition just in a simple way, like a step towards committing a crime. Get its definition, Black's Law Dictionary, then look at the types. After looking at the types, each type give its elements. Yes, that's the end of today's session. If at all you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, comment, and also share to your friends so that they can learn. And also, you have to subscribe so that you do not miss out more other interesting videos that I will be uploading soon. So, subscribe, like, and comment, and share. Thank you very much.